Developer relations, a well-paid, fancy job that involves lots of traveling, speaking at conferences, interacting with developers regularly, and creating content. What's not to like? Why would anyone want to go back to coding? In this video, I want to talk about why I switched back from developer relations to engineering. But first, a short note on DevRel. In the last 2 years, I worked in developer relations as a developer advocate. I don't think there is an official definition for a developer advocate, but you can think of a developer advocate as the bridge between the company and the community. The developer advocate represents the company to the community and the community to the company. But that's not all. The developer advocate must balance the needs and interests of both and make sure they are both happy. Some of the day-to-day activities of a developer advocate are as follows. Create demo applications, create written, video, and social media content, interact with the community, provide support to the developers, and bring back the feedback from the community to the company. These are just a couple of examples rather than an exhaustive list of activities that might be done by a developer advocate. Also, it's important to mention that these activities are usually done by a team of developer advocates rather than a single developer advocate, because it's a lot of work. Now that you understand what a developer advocate is and what it involves, let's talk about how I became one. To do that, we need to rewind to the beginning of my career. I was in the last university year and I was preparing to enter the field. And I knew it would be very tough to compete with the other candidates and get a job. So I thought, how can I differentiate myself from the other candidates? One idea that popped into my mind was to create a technical blog. Writing is my biggest passion and I had non-technical blogs since my teenage years, so it made sense. I thought I'd write about the programming concepts and other related stuff I learned, about my existing knowledge, about my experiences such as interviews and stuff like that, about the problems, issues and bugs I solve, and basically everything. Okay, enough talk about how I started my blog. What has that to do with me becoming a developer advocate? Well, that blog kickstarted my content creation journey, which got me into DevRel. I went from writing blog articles to creating videos and to being active on social media. And now let's jump to the most important part of the video, why I went back to engineering. But before that, a little disclaimer. This video might be a bit negative because I'm only talking about what I didn't like about DevRel. However, DevRel can be really nice and there are many people enjoying it, and I'll most likely give it a go in the future if I find the right opportunity. Also, this video is not a dig at the companies I worked at because they were really awesome and I really enjoyed working there, and I'm forever grateful for the opportunities. This video is more about my general experience with DevRel and what I observed working in this industry. So the main reason for wanting to switch back was the lack of coding. In these 2 years and a bit as a developer advocate, I did little to no coding at all. Even on the rare occasions when I used to code, I coded super simple applications. It still sounds weird to me that as a developer advocate, you might not code at all. The title literally contains developer, yet you don't code or you do it very minimally. Also, how can you relate to other developers and advocate for them if you don't code yourself? Anyways, this is just my opinion and maybe I'm wrong, but yeah, it's my opinion. As a result, not only that I wasn't progressing, but even worse, my skills were regressing and they were regressing fast. The more time I spent in DevRel, the worse my coding skills became. So I knew that if I don't do anything about it quickly, it will eventually be nearly impossible to transition back to a developer job. It took me around 6 or 7 months, but I eventually did it. Another important reason why I wanted to switch back is that most companies have really high demands and they are looking for one person to do the work of an entire department. You'll most likely see job ads looking for a person who organizes events, who also creates YouTube videos, who also writes articles, who also manages social media, and the list goes on and on and on. That's a lot of work, and whoever ends up taking that job will most likely end up burned out. Moreover, most companies don't have clear objectives, expectations, and a career progression track. You don't know what's expected of you, you don't know how your performance is measured, and lastly, you don't know what are the next career levels and how you can reach them. I'm someone that likes clarity, and this is not an environment I can thrive in. I want to have clear goals, metrics, and a clear progression track. DevRel work is a head-scratcher when it comes to measuring its impact. The work done by developer advocates often takes time to show results, and there is no one clear formula for measuring the success. DevRel people do a lot of things, from organizing events to managing social media to creating content and so on, and it's not like all these activities impact the goals equally or in the same way. Besides that, the impact of DevRel work is not visible immediately. It's more about keeping developers happy and loyal, which is hard to put a number on. Another reason was the nature of the work I was doing. To me, the ideal DevRel role involves working on the product as a developer, building cool demos using the company's product, and showcasing that through video, written, or social media content. Unfortunately, I spent too much time managing social media, writing listicles, and doing straight marketing. While these activities are fine and required in a company, they are not the activities that fulfill me, and they are not the activities that I envision myself doing as a developer advocate. And lastly, I didn't see a future for myself in DevRel, at least for the time being. Whenever I ask myself questions such as, where do I see myself in 5 years as a developer advocate, or how can I progress in this field, or what are the next steps for me in this field, I couldn't answer. The only two questions I could answer were, do I want to continue as a developer advocate? And the answer is no for the short term, because that would mean losing my engineering skills altogether. And the second question, what do I want to do next? And the answer is to work as a developer again. It was clear that it was time to move on and transition back to a developer role. And here I am, working as a developer again. So I want to mention again that working in developer relations can be a great experience for many people, and my video is not meant to deter you from pursuing a career in DevRel. If I find the appropriate role, I'll most likely give it a go again in a few years, so all good. In my case, the lack of coding was the main reason why I wanted to switch back. I really miss building stuff, and I realized that my skills were regressing fast. The transition was challenging because most of my experience lies in DevRel, so I mostly receive DevRel offers and almost no developer offers.